Hi. So the Apple Vision Pro has been out for just over 7 months, and I think it's due for a bit of a long-term review. Let's take a look at Apple's moonshot. Are you familiar with the phrase, shoot for the moon, land amongst the stars? I think with Apple Vision Pro, Apple's been incredibly successful at both. Let's dive into that. So let's start in with the technical aspect of Apple Vision Pro. So one of my favorite features of Apple Vision Pro is the physical design. For me, this is actually kind of lightweight. I know it's heavy in the hand, but when you take into account this nice mesh band and you tighten it up using this dial right here, let's take a look at that. I can actually wear this for hours on end. I don't get any neck fatigue. I don't get eye strain or anything like that. And speaking of eyes, one of my favorite aspects of Apple Vision Pro is the Zeiss lenses. So I have my eye prescription put in here and I can watch this again just as if I had my eyeglasses on. So underrated feature there. Another underrated feature I believe are Dolby speakers. Take a look at these things, right? So they're gorgeous. What that does is if you have small children or family members or just people in your personal space that you're interacting with as you're using Apple Vision Pro, the sound is not plugged into your ear, but it rather sits right over your ear. So you can still hear people and you can still get the full richness of the sound going on around you. So whether it's a presentation or a movie, TV show, music, you name it, an audiobook, of course, you get the pleasure of hearing it and it's quite comfortable there. I think one of the other winning aspects of this design, of course, is the curved glass. And it's done so well and it's so gorgeous. And it's one of those things that until you see it in person, you won't believe what kind of impact that has there overall. And for me, albeit I would love to see where they go in the future, but for now, for the last 7 months, I'll have to say the battery pack didn't bother me as much as I thought it would. So again, another win for Apple. When you think about Apple Vision Pro, one of the great things about it is Apple's ability to marry entertainment and productivity. And when you think about most personal devices that you use, the iPhone, the iPad, Apple Vision Pro, you're going to use it for either one of those. And so I want to dive into that entertainment part first. So from a review standpoint, I love what Apple has done with their immersive content. When the Vision Pro first dropped, you had the opportunity to partake in a session with Alicia Keys in a music studio. And it was probably one of the most innovative things I've ever been a part of and witnessed. You're literally in the room with the person who's not in a room with you. So it's a bit of a brain twist for you at first, and then you just kind of adjust and you realize how awesome it is, right? Now, Apple released a short film called Submerged. And again, this is something that's intense. It is not being in a music studio. So you actually go from, how do I phrase this delicately for you? You go from observing the material in the story to being in the story and just kind of looking left and right, and you see the water rising, and so you kind of become part of the story. And I think that what Apple Vision Pro has unlocked is a new layer of storytelling. And short form, long form, it's something that's going to change the game for the better in the long term. I think in another 5 or 6 years, movies like Submerged, and that's a short that's only about 17 minutes long, but it feels like forever when you're in there because of the content. Check it out if you have not had the opportunity to do so. But it's not only intense, it's absolutely incredible. So again, Vision Pro is great for so many things. Let's talk about a few others. For instance, one of the things I like to talk about is workspace. You get an infinite workspace with spatial computing, and I know a lot of people once again will say this is heavy. I'm here to tell you it's not heavy. You can wear it for hours at a time. When you pair it with the battery pack, let's reach down and grab that. You get over 2 to 2.5 hours of battery use with this unplugged. With it plugged in, you could use this all day. So again, if you use your Mac and you want to expand your workflow, if you're like me and you just use Vision Pro and you open up all kinds of different apps and workflows and the Calm app, and you could do Duolingo and you can write papers and scripts, and you see where I'm going with this? There are infinite possibilities and an infinite workspace. Not to mention, one of my favorite features of Vision Pro is the environments. I love the fact that you can go from being at Joshua Tree to being by a lake. Go from sitting by a lake to being on the moon. And let's take it back to the moonshot, right? So I think Apple had to know creating Apple Vision Pro was going to be a bit of a gamble because one, you have to get developers on board. And I think that's the one weak spot, if I had to identify one for Vision Pro, that still kind of exists. Their Achilles heel is they need more apps. I do love the fact that they've had the opportunity to kind of weave in more iPad apps to kind of help, stem the flow and kind of get things sped up for you as a user. However, you see a strong difference as far as apps that are made from the ground up for Apple Vision Pro versus apps that kind of come over from iPad and maybe a bit of iPhone and things of that nature. But all in all, it's absolutely incredible as an experience. And if waiting on more apps to come is the one complaint that we have, I'll live with that. Let's talk about Netflix, right? A lot of us have waited on Netflix and YouTube to kind of create an app for Apple Vision Pro. I love that Apple's had a workaround for this, right? So if you go into Safari and one of your many windows that you can kind of put around you in spatial computing, they've enabled what's called cinematic mode. And this gives you the feeling of being like in a movie theater, but also at the same time, again, very personal, and it's hyper focused on exactly what you're looking for there in terms of an app. It's absolutely incredible. In fact, let's take a look at that. Okay, ladies and gents, as you can see, the moonshot, we're actually on the moon. And let's take a look around here with Vision Pro. As you can see, eye tracking is excellent as always. We have YouTube here. We'll take a quick glimpse at cinematic mode that I discussed in a moment. Right here, you have Apple Keynote. As you can see, 360 degrees. The whole environment is nearly interactive. Apple Music. We have Twitter right behind us. Take a look up at Earth. What up, Earth? Now right here, we have the Paramount Plus app. Nice, nice. Let's go back around here. As you can see, got our audio book in front of us. Over here, we have another web page. And if you notice, yes, you can have multiple Safaris all around you. So let's start here first. Vision OS 2. Look at the palm of your hand. You see that circle come up? Turn your hand over. You get the time, the percentage of battery, etc. Pinch your fingers together. You bring up Control Center. So easy. And it's also much easier than just staring up. Oh, wait, look. If we stare up, what is that? Another product of Vision OS 2. You see that square cube there? Let's go ahead and look at that and pinch it. We're going to now take this picture and turn it into a spatial photo. Look at the magic happen right there before our very eyes. 3, 2, 1. Amazing. Now let's bring that down a little bit closer. Look at that. Again, Vision OS 2 feature. You gotta love it. Let's put it back at the top. Now, one of my main loves of Vision OS 2 and all things Apple Vision Pro is you can make your workspace as ridiculous or as incredible as you like. Now, as promised, one of the workarounds, because YouTube and Netflix and others have refused to make an app for Vision Pro yet, and there's a reason for that. Let's go ahead and show you cinematic mode. So I'm going to stare at this square. We're going to click there on Zolo Text Video. And look at that. Let's just go ahead and press play here for a second. There we are. And take a look there. As it goes on and take its time loading. Let's just take a look. Here we are. Now, it's playing. As you can see, it kind of floats in space, and that part is great. The reason why I won't show you this with, let's say, Netflix is because they're going to give me the black box and they're going to pretty much black it out. So let's go up here. As you can see, I have Emily in Paris loaded up. And again, we're not going to bother to showcase it to you, but it can be done with Netflix as well. If you look up Hulu Live TV, so on and so forth. So shout out to Apple for getting that done. Audiobook right here. Once again, everything else, 360 degree workflow. And let's just move some of this around. Look at the surface out here. You see all the craters, and I chose the nighttime moon, which is fantastic. You can literally work from anywhere. You can have a peace of mind. You have the spatial audio over your ears. And after 7 months, what do I personally think? Looking at my hands, what time is it? Listen, it's Vision Pro time. It's a 10 out of 10. It's been a major go. It's a device that if you want to live in the future and on the bleeding edge of what's next in technology, it's there. I will tell you spatial computing is where it's at. For me, I tend to use my voice for everything. However, for long form writing, I do have the Magic Keyboard. I would encourage you to do the same. And with Vision OS 2, the Magic Keyboard will show just like my hands, and probably even better with better lighting. So, thanks for watching our video on Apple's Moonshot with Apple Vision Pro. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And we'll see you again sooner than you think on a new edition of The Random. Peace.